Lynn should be on in a minute. Hey, Carol, beautiful lady. Well, she's just got me messages, so Claire should pop on in a minute. Just wait for Nanny Lynn. Do you know Nanny Lynn?
So yes, how's everybody been?
We've been good. Meds seem to be doing the job. I think I just need to up them slightly. So that's going to be good. But really enjoyed it on Sunday night. That hotel was gorgeous to stay in. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Diane. So much history to the hotel. Hey, Michael.
Lynn has.
Which Nanny Lynn does have the history. She did it all for us. Because then that way I knew Nanny Lynn said that she couldn't watch it because obviously she got other engagements, but she's watched back and there's so much. Hey, Moira. Hey, Scotty. Hey, device everybody. Not connected, Nanny Lynn. They will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to stream. Nanny Lynn, add your camera. Hey, Amy. Lisa. But yeah, it's the history's been phenomenal. I mean, Nanny Lynn's a name come out and it was Constance.
Yeah,
I think it was Constance, and Nanny Lynn has already found a link to Constance. I can give that one away, which
Amazing.
It's just going to be phenomenal. I hope so. We'll give it 5 minutes. Hopefully, Nanny Lynn will get sorted.
Yeah.
I mean, give it a couple of minutes, Paul, and let everybody can share out for us, guys. Paul's got an announcement to make before we start on the history, so that's going to be exciting.
Out too. It's always good to share out.
It is. Don't forget, once Paul says the information that's going to be coming your way, don't forget to share it out with others as well, please. So I'm just going to ring Nanny Lynn because I don't know whether she's having trouble.
She is trouble.
She is trouble. Nanny Lynn, let's see if she answers.
Evening, everybody. Hope you're all well.
I'll let you talk a minute. You can hear me talking anyway, but...
And I can... After we hear that, it's okay. We're going to eavesdrop on this conversation now.
Yeah.
Hello, love.
Hello, what you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying. As soon as I try to command, Keno jumps up.
Right, well, it's saying that you haven't got your camera or your mic connected.
Yeah, I've got to do it all again.
All right, then, Duck. See you in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
Michelle,
bye.
Lisa, Amy, Carol, Moira.
Come on, Claire, get sorted. Evening, good evening, everybody. Claire's always late to the party anyway, so Claire's late. I hope everybody's well. I hope you've all had a good weekend. Paul's hair is looking very Sweeney Toddish today.
Right, okay.
That's from Amy. I like Sweeney Todd.
Grey area there, isn't it?
I love the grey. I've got the grey going in, but it's gone a bit blondie. I needed some more grey, but I love the grey. We missed you, Amy. Where have you been hiding? What's chit chat tonight, Lisa? Hey, Sharon. Hey, Patricia. Chit chat tonight is we did a Halloween special on Sunday night. Nanny Lynn Nanny Lynn did all the history, and we didn't give out the location till the very end. Now, we knew little bits, but nowhere near enough, just like basically...
I didn't even know where we were going till that day.
You did know we were going, you just didn't...
I didn't know. I knew we was going. I didn't know where we was going.
I thought you did. I didn't tell you, you just drove us. What we're going to do is when Nanny Lynn joins us, even Scotty didn't know the location. No, you didn't. Danny Lynn's going to hopefully come on shortly and give us an update and tell us what was relevant, what wasn't relevant. I know some of you in chat started doing their own research into the play, so it'll be good to see what comes up. Paul, I don't know if while we're waiting, if you want to tell everybody about what you've got coming up. Evening, Yo-Yo.
Absolutely. So what I've done, I've also created, and I managed to share it before, so I'm hopefully I managed to share it again this time. But so I'm going to be doing it, be on as best as I can, depending on guest speakers' availability, streaming on my personal Facebook and also my NLP and hypnotherapy, so Paul Gold NLP and hypnotherapy YouTube channel. There's a classic life coaching tool called the Wheel of Life, which I'll get up here now. So let me just get this up. Share screen. We'll just always agree to do these things. Right, okay, Windows. And hopefully this shares all right. So hopefully people can see that okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so what it is, basically the idea behind it is that you break a pie chart into 8 sections, and each of those sections, this is what people tend to usually have in the pie chart. So it can be like business and career, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, and physical environment. Now, what I thought would be good fun is that basically you put a number between each one of these pie charts of how well things are going. So maybe your relationships, your romance is going really well, but finances is really poor, or the health is not so good, and the physical environment is not so good. So you think of it as a wheel of life, and try and always make as all those numbers on the wheel of life, 10 being absolutely brilliant, 0 being I really need to look at some improvements here. So each one of these sections over a period of time on my YouTube and Facebook, I'll be talking to an expert and talking to them live. So, you know, I've already got somebody who does feng shui lined up. Somebody's her fitness instructor, and also a dietitian, nutrition advisor. He's lined up, and I've got somebody for the personal growth that does the hero's journey, which is a fantastic set of tools to really move your life forward in a new direction. It kind of goes a lot into myths and legends, and like if those of you love the Star Wars film, the whole hero's journey is kind of based on the hero's journey. So the Star Wars is based on this hero's journey. So I'm going to fill up the other ones. I've got other people in mind, but probably either on I think a Wednesday or Thursday I'm trying to get people to do these live, so it doesn't interact or mess up with what you're doing as well with exploring the afterlife. So if anybody's interested in seeing these experts of any of those fields, you feel that you need to have a bit of extra, you know, please join in. It'd be really, really good. And if you think of another wheel, because for some people the business side of things might be, well, I'm not really interested in that. Think of another section, then I can interview an expert on that as well. So it should be good. Last about an hour.
Yeah, just let us know when date's coming and we'll put a post on.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah. Nanny Lynn, can you just do me a favour, sweet?
Yeah.
Do you know on your top bar on your computer, can you shut everything down bar StreamYards?
It is.
I'm just going to get the tablet.
We're getting an echo, so there's a volume coming in, so there's got to be something still open.
No. If I turn that,
It's
no,
just a long
that's
top.
not good.
It's just a long top bar.
No,
That if you can't, it don't matter. Evening,
I haven't
everybody.
got anything on, love. All I've got on is StreamYard. I've turned Facebook off. I've turned the volume off.
Yeah, have you minimised everything, boss?
If I minimise, you won't see me.
No,
not you. Not
there.
No.
No, it's just the top. So it's just if there's any tabs open at all. I mean, it could even be the way the whole thing's processing on your computer. Then
could be.
I don't know. I've always used just this.
That's better. I'm not echoing whatever you've just done. Oh no, Yannick's back.
Nothing.
Never mind, it don't matter, Nanny Lynn. So welcome everybody to chat. Paul's gonna give. Where's she gone now? Bring yourself back in. Paul's just explain what's going to be coming up for Paul. So anybody that's interested, we'll put a post up on our Facebook page, on YouTube. Paul's going to be putting up on his, so we'll be sharing. And yeah, if anybody's interested, please join. When Nanny Lynn comes back on, we are going to be talking about the history. Nanny Lynn always echoes. She does. We are going to be talking about one of those nights again, probably. Here she comes. She's back.
See, that's what happens when I fiddle. Oh,
don't fiddle. Don't fiddle.
Yeah.
Right. We're still waiting on Claire joining us. Hopefully she'll figure out how to join us. So, Nanny Lynn, take it away.
Well, I was all set up. Then Pino come in, dived all over my keyboard. Everything went blooming good. Oh, right. Do you see? Can you see this lot?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the history. How long you got?
All night.
Right. There's a hell of a lot that was relevant.
Wow.
So let me see. I didn't pick up on a Michael or an Edward. I couldn't find them, but they could be in families of families.
Yeah.
But the one that you were very, very interested in, Lindsay, was Constance.
Yes.
And I only just found her this afternoon. She's buried in the churchyard, and she died in 19th of April, 1871, as an infant. She was only a child. So that could be why she come through. And her name was Constance Stronach. Stronach. And it says Constance Stronach Staple Hill. And she was an infant. So she was definitely...
Does it say how she died, Nanny Lynn? Or is it just
no, it just says infant.
Right.
Yeah, just got INF, infant, yeah. The church was... Yeah, that at least it's relevant, very relevant, isn't it? I haven't put the comments on. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I had this private chat on. Well, go on.
Look, just give me a sec, Nanny Lynn. What's happening is when we went live on Sunday night, nobody had the history to where we was. Nanny Lynn kept all the history back from us. So what we're going to do, just ignore this person on YouTube. We are trying to deal with it, but unfortunately...
Yeah, it was Queen Elizabeth II. It's now Albert Einstein.
Yeah, they must have got 100 profiles. They're just dickheads. So, yeah.
You've had a troll, have you?
Yeah, just this nightmare.
Yeah.
So Nanny Lynn
you probably...
explain...
Yeah. Well, you probably got a lot of this anyway.
We will. Nanny Lynn's going to explain how relevant some of the history is that we caught. So, do we know the date of when the hotel was first built, Nanny Lynn? Even Tony.
Well, it wasn't a hotel, it was a hall.
Oh, La Hall, yeah.
It was. Yeah, the house was built about 1800 by Abraham Hoskins Senior. He was an attorney and a land speculator. Before that, it was like a manor house.
Yeah.
So before the hotel, if you like. And it was designed by Francis Bernasconi, who's Italian. And he may well have done the glass tinted windows as well, because he was a jack of all trades, carpenter. He designed and redesigned a lot of buildings, including Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, all those sort of places.
Wow. Well, to know to the glassmaker, Nanny Lynn, we kept getting months of the year coming out, like January, February, December, and all this.
Yeah.
When after we'd finished the live, or while we were finished, Claire took some photos of the glass. You know, the like coloured the window glasses,
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
there was the date of every month, and we had glasswork come out constantly. But on these,
Yeah.
Claire's got a photo of them, and I'll ask her to share it. But yeah, they were actually relevant when they were coming through, which is quite really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. January was very significant, very relevant. I've got so much paper with me, so you'll have to bear me. I've tried to mark most of it so that I can go straight to it, but there's an awful lot of it. I know that somebody died on January the 1st, and it was relevant to who you said. Hang on. Right. There was cannons there as well. There was soldiers of World War II. Hang on. I'm sure I wrote it down on the top page. There was a school there. Edward, Constance family. Percy Radcliffe was mentioned, and Peter Radcliffe. William Warrington or Worthington was to do with the brewery, as was a couple of others. John Higgett was a farmer, and he donated a row of 4 dwellings or almhouses in the village. The pubs were the Unicorn, which was formerly a farmhouse, and the Brickmaker's Arms, which stands in front of what was the site of the brickmaking works. Beehive Cottage was built as a lodge to Rock House. There's relevance to Vikings, Saxons and Danes. And the Saxon monastery was at Repston in 873 to 874. Still haven't found this bloody January. Meaning clothes I couldn't. A Doomsday Book was the Land of the King, 1086. In 1205, the church was 12th century. In 1205, Allard de Solomania, a Norman knight, inherited Newton Solney. 1870, Henry Coxon also was with it, Brixton's Arms. Henry de Ferriers, Earl of Derby. I heard you mention a Henry a few times. Let's have a look at. Right, let me see where I got this one. I know
relevancy coming through.
Oh, there's a heck of a lot. Absolutely heck of a lot. I'm just trying to find that January.
That's okay. Well, we had Peter come through from the beginning, and Michael came through, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't get a Michael, but that doesn't mean to say he's not there. I just probably didn't find it. And you've got a Henry as well. There's a Henry de Ferriers during the reign of Henry III, and then it passed to Norman de Solony, and later to the Radcliffe family, who would have brewing interests at Burton. A minute. There was a group before that did it in the paranormal group, and they got quite a few things as well, including they mentioned the bedrooms that you were on about.
Yeah.
They got stuff in the bedrooms. Right.
Well, it was funny because... Sorry, Nanny.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on.
No, Abraham Hoskins, an attorney and land speculator from Burton, built the house in the 1790s, which would go on to become the core of Newton Park Hotel. The Hoskins family were forced to sell the estate in 1876 to Lord Chesterfield, who let Newton Park to William Worthington, which was the other brewery, and then eventually by the Ratcliffe family in 1879. And when Peter Ratcliffe died in 1955, Newton Park was sold, with the building opening as a hotel 11 years later. So it was derelict for a bit. I got it. Right, the small country house, it says, now a hotel, 1798 by Francisco Bernasconi, like I told you. He died on January the 1st. So January was relevant. in 1841, and he was aged 79 years.
Wow.
So January was very relevant. When the other team were in the cellar at the hotel, they reportedly heard splashing and movement in water, which Miss Goldsmith from Arnold near Nottingham claimed sounded like children playing. Somebody else said they saw strange morphine in the bedroom. So that could be what you said about drowning. Through the night, a child was sensed under the table. Let me see. That was just the other group mine. Peter Ratcliffe died in 55. I think I just told you that. Yeah, I told you that. 1888 began to build and let villas and houses to men of means and commercial gentlemen from Burton. They've got an old vicarage, a row of cottages, the Brickmaker's Arms, numbers 3 to 5 and 7 is a main street, police house, Grange Farm. The Grange, this replaces an older farmhouse that stood on this site, and it may have also been built by Robert Ratcliffe about 1896 as his own homes. What else have I got? There's Bladen Castle Cedar House. Where are we? I think there's some more. The school was built in 1860 with modern additions, all connected to this place, provided by Sir Henry, another Henry, and Henry Every, who was Lord of the Manor and a large landowner. There was the church. This is a Grade B listed building, mostly 14th and 15th century, with a 12th century Norman doorway. Originally, this was a chapel of ease, owned and served by the canons of Repton Priory for the parishioners of Newton Solney. And by 1650, it had become a parochial chapel, served by a curate Thomas Gayfer. The famous mason, who died in 1827, is buried in the churchyard. And then we've got the John Hickett, the Percy Radcliffe, the one that gives the almshouses, the octagonal beehive cottage, built from locally made bricks, stands at the entrance of a tree-lined lane, leading to the 12th century Church of St. Mary. 2 of the 3 church bells were cast just before the Civil War and have the inscriptions God Save Our Church 1650 and God Save the Church 1633. It contains a collection of monuments, many to the medieval members of the de Saulney family, including a headless knight from the mid-13th century and an alabaster cross-legged knight from around 1375. The churchyard contains the tombstone of Thomas Gayfrey, a master mason, as I said, who died in 1827, who was responsible for the restoration of Westminster Hall. What else have we got?
Claire, you need to shut your other things down on top, Doc.
Just a minute, I'm putting the mouse in.
I think that's about it.
No, I haven't got any of my echo in.
Yeah, bad.
Right. Bear with me.
The hotel became a hotel in about 1960 after being sold off by the Ratcliffe family. So the main characters or family are the Ratcliffes, the Solney family, and the other ones. What was the other ones?
I can't pronounce it.
That was the 2 main ones. But there's a heck of a lot of what I've just told you leading off to other things.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at church archives, etc.
Somebody's just commented.
I don't know.
And I forgot who it was commenting, said, how do you find all your information, Nanny Lynn?
Well, I just basically start with what I've heard you on your live, and then where you are. So I type that in, and that comes up pretty good. But then I read everything and pick out what I think is relevant to take a branch off of the main thing and to lead to another thing. And then another thing. It's a bit like doing your genealogy or your heritage, what do you call it? Your family, what's it?
Yeah, when you look family
and then,
tree.
Yeah, hiya, Claire.
Hello. Back
And
on
then-
my phone.
And then sometimes you get like
Hi,
I
Jules.
forgot now. Sometimes you get pieces off of what somebody have said, and also sometimes you get a community or some sort of club that is interested the same as us and ask for other people for more information. So anybody that's lived there or has lived there, they can add to it and people could look it up. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more.
There's going to be
but
loads coming from there.
Absolutely. But the Vikings, the Danes, the Saxons, it was used in the Second World War. It was used in the Civil War. So it's been a mind of history and information.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I tried to explain, Claire, the glass thing that you took, and I didn't explain it properly. So go on, the glass.
Not only did we not tell them anything, we didn't know any history either. We didn't
No,
do
we
any
didn't.
history.
The glass thing.
The windows with the
Oh,
date.
right. Yeah. Right. I don't, obviously, because I've been trying to mess with my computer, trying to get it working. So I've
We've
missed all what.
noticed. You're late. As usual.
I was on time. So I don't know what
I even
history.
tried to find about those windows for you, John.
Yeah,
You know, you said about the windows at the very top. I tried to find out about that, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
But there's bound to be something.
I don't know what history, obviously, Nanny Lynn's just gone through.
She's got Constantine. Constance.
Yeah, I've got that.
Constance.
Yeah.
I've got that.
She was a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really interesting because Constance come through.
I was right excited when I found that.
When we was in
me too.
Didn't Constance come through when we were in dining hall?
Yeah, it came through on the Alice box.
That were right, yeah. And we had a couple of interactions with the lights, which may explain if it were a child's energy in there. Weren't really talking to him like a child.
Yeah.
Do you know, we were asking more different level questions, but yeah.
Adult. Yeah.
Did anybody find out? Because in one of the rooms, I think it was room 120 that we went into, it had strange EMF going off readings, didn't it, in the middle of the bed?
Yeah, Claire, talk to them about that.
Go on, Claire.
Right. So yeah, we didn't even notice it, did we, John? It was hotel manager. The EMF meter was on the back of the headboard, and it started fluctuating, and we couldn't understand why because it had not been going off previously. So then John got the second EMF meter and started just moving it about. It wasn't going off when he was pressing it against the wall, near the switches, up on the ceiling. But when he held it away from the headboard above the bed, it started reading, and there's no reason why it should have gone off because there's nothing in the middle of, the wall's here and it was holding it here. So there was distance. So there's no wires or anything that should have been setting that off. And then there's one instance where John went and threw that onto the bed and it landed in the centre of the bed and it started going off again, which was very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
But there was
Hey
also...
up, Nanny Lynn blew my head off. What?
I've also been reviewing some of the footage, and there's some orbs that shoot vertically out of the bed. Scott noticed them. And also vertically down from the ceiling into the bed, which was also very strange. But I have found, if I can find it, something about the hotel, but it is quite recent, so I'm not going to mention any names. Just bear with me.
There's supposed to be a white lady as well.
World War II come out quite a lot.
Bear with me.
Yeah.
And we do know that it was a hospital for soldiers during one of the wars. I don't know if it were both wars or just one.
I know it was the Civil War. I think it may have been actually.
Now, I did
I'll
find
have a
out
look
that the evacuees were housed in the staff wing during the war, but it doesn't say which war.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
So yeah, what I did find out, I said I'm not going to mention her name because it's only in the last 50 years, that a member of staff had pneumonia around 9 years before her passing, and she suffered with issues in her lungs for the rest of her life. She was struggling to breathe and had a lot of pain. She still carried on working and didn't make a fuss during her chambermaid duties, and she was flipping mattresses, changing beds and moving furniture. She worked at the hotel for nearly half a century as a breakfast waitress and chambermaid at the hotel, which I found very interesting because people in that room sensed that someone was like suffocating or couldn't breathe.
They did. Yeah, that drowning feeling.
And I wondered if that was the connection.
Well, it could be.
It could have been the White Lady as well, couldn't it? She'd have been
if she was lifting the mattresses, making the beds.
Well, it does say, and it doesn't say which room. I'm just on one now, and another paranormal team has been in there, which I didn't know until just now. And they had a K2 meter device. K2 meter device which detects electronic material kept sounding alerts in one of the rooms, which many claim can possibly indicate paranormal activity. And they also claim to have seen orbs in the room. So I don't know if that was the same room or not. It doesn't.
We caught I mean, we caught a couple of orbs.
I mean,
I know Paul only watched about the first 15 minutes because it was Moira's birthday and they had a different night out. So Paul's like a few of you are that didn't watch it. They're going to be like, oh my God, what's all this trunter going off about? But yeah, I mean,
watch it.
The relevance that we've got though that's come through so far, it's so interesting to go back there because I do believe that when you've communicated with energies and had responses, the more you go back to a place, the more they open up. And there were so many rooms we didn't get to. Which I mean, you couldn't. The hotel was so accommodating to us, weren't they?
They were fantastic.
But we did work out that the first room we went in, the Oak Room, that was actually part of the original building. When we went down to room 5 was part of the new building. And we didn't really get much in room 5, did we? I think the ball went off once or twice. But I don't think we got anything more than that.
I'm trying to think.
No, they said there would have been a manor house somewhere near the present Newton Park Hotel, and the lord of the manor would have had a mill and fishing rights in the river and a tithe barn, which is recorded in 1528. And with the death of John, because John was mentioned, the last male Disoney in 1390, the manor passed through several important local families and was finally bought by the local attorney Abraham Hoskins, who built the house and is now the hotel.
I've just missed Patricia's comment, bear with me. I think it's that one. Is the place you investigated on ley lines? Evening, everybody joining my lovelies.
Oh, I'm going to put my keyboard up his back.
Does anybody know whether that place would be on? Or John's going to have a look for you, Patricia, and see whether it is.
That. No. Oh, Pino, no. Oh, baby, come on, look, here's some dreamers.
Yolanda's put, I wonder if the kids I picked up on with their hobby horses were evacuee kids. Do you know, Yolanda, it could be, because, I mean, it does bring it back into that time period.
You know how, like we say, can you tell us your story? I'm wondering as well whether we could actually have picked things up before that family moved into the house.
Yeah.
You know, like someone telling like their ancestry, or you know, or their family members coming through. Because let me find it. Well, it's the Worthingtons that I found.
Beer.
Yeah. On the 3rd of September 1764, William and Anne Worthington had their first child, Mary.
We had Mary come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah,
10th
I
of
come across a
September
Mary.
1764, they had their second child, William. And on the 16th of November 1766, they had their third child, Thomas.
We had them names. We had William and Thomas.
We did. But there's also 3 children. And I remember there's 2 boys and a girl there. And that's what Yolanda saw, 2 boys and a girl.
Wow.
So
And somebody said 3 was relevant, didn't they? Somebody said 3 came up, so that would be those. Oh, Pino!
Also, Mary died age 13, and in one of the rooms, I think it was the I can't remember which one it is. In one of the rooms, 13 came out on the Alice box.
Wow.
So I found that quite interesting.
On the bit of history that you're hearing, what do you think about it, Paul? What's your thoughts?
It all sounds really compelling. I just wish I'd probably seen it all the way through. But, you know, I think when I used to do the ghost investigations with Lynn was always absolutely amazing at doing the research. And that's what was so great when we were doing investigations, because it wasn't just we went in, thank you very much, and here's a couple of orbs that we could show you. Lynn used to really kind of do a lot of the history for the place as well, like good stuff like this. So yeah, I to me everything seems really compelling. You know, I just I wish I was there with you guys.
I know. You're gonna have to come, Paul, when we're doing a hotel or something like that. You're gonna have to come down.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, I just can't get over just how much relevance came out. Like the glasswork that's come out.
Oh, yeah, glasswork.
Constance.
Glasswork, and we kept getting months.
Yeah.
As we were leaving, I went back into the hotel with Angie and took photographs of the stained glass window, which, like Nanny Lynn, I can't find any information on.
No.
But Angie pointed out to me, on the stained glass, there's like small squares at the top and at the bottom, and in the corner of every square is every month. So January, February, March, April, all the way to December. And glasswork kept coming out, and glass. Months kept coming out, and the actual word months kept coming out.
Yeah, and we never linked it.
We never linked it until I took that photograph.
Yeah, as we were leaving.
Yeah. Always, isn't it? When the last Sony died, they died childless, but the manor remained in the family through the female line. So for a while, the females just the line was running it. So the village by that time was then called Newton Solney.
Yeah. It was interesting because Claire and Ange actually talked to the night porter, Claire?
Yeah.
Angie and Claire were talking to the night porter, and for the bedroom where they were getting EMF in, because I was saying while we were live, I'm saying, could it be a hanging? You know, because it's coming from middle of bed. But what did you get told though, Claire, about the height and what he thinks it is?
He didn't say anything about that when he went onto room 107. He was talking about another room, wasn't he? That was.
I don't know. I thought he said that it was somebody that was stood on the bed.
Oh right, yeah. So the indentations we thought would have been bum cheeks sitting on the bottom of the bed, but he said they were actually footmarks. Footmark indentations on the bed.
Somebody stood on it.
So somebody stood on the bed, which would validate where we was getting the EMF readings, because they were quite high up, weren't they? Off the bed, but away from the wall.
So do you
So,
know
that was
that was really interesting, that part when especially for EMF meet to go off, because we don't really get, I'm not saying we don't get much luck with the EMF reader, but with me with EMFs, because you're filming, the EMF can trigger it. But the EMF meter that John was using, that would it's not like the other one that we used. You know what I mean? There's a different field on that one, so it shouldn't have been going. There was nothing that could have triggered that off, if that makes sense. Yolanda could have been from it could have been from an hanging yo-yo with being feet.
This is the thing. I mean, not everything's going to be recorded.
No,
so some things we aren't going to find out.
Yeah.
And you know, back then they were terrible at recording things as well.
Yeah,
so.
It is, Patricia. It is unusual for months of the year to be stained on glass windows. So I wonder whether there is something more within the history that we've not looked that is significant to. As
best can describe the window, what it was like, because I'm wondering if it was like the whole year depicted in what they had up, not just the months, but just like a whole year in one amalgamation. Yeah. Did it look anything like that?
Yeah.
You've got photos, haven't you, Claire?
Mm-hmm. I've took photos.
Can you message it me?
I can when we come off live. Yeah.
Marvelous.
I'm on my phone.
And I'll send them on so you can see them. And have a look at the glass.
I don't know if you want me to read the history that I got, because I don't know if I'm going to be repeating Nanny Lynn.
No, go for it.
No, go for it.
Right, okay. Bear with me while I find.
If you are, we'll just tell you to shut up.
Yeah, just say shut up.
Oh,
I won't really.
Right, so Newton Solney is one of Derbyshire's oldest village. I can't even speak now. An Anglian settlement existed there in the 6th century. Strategically placed just to the west of confluence of the River Trent and the River Dove, and a ford across the Trent. After the Norman conquest, Newton, as it was then called, eventually came into the hands of the Solinghi family. They held it from roughly 1120 to 1390. When the last Solinghi died childless, the manor remained in the family through the female line. The village by this time was called Newton Solney. The name Newton Solney is derived from 2 sources. It was first recorded as Niwatune in Old English, meaning new farm. It had acquired the Solney suffix about 1300 after the Solinghi family. By the time that the 9-year-old 9th Baronet inherited the manor of Newton Solney in 1786, the estate was in financial difficulties. Abraham Hoskins, an attorney from Burton-on-Trent, was one of the 3 legal guardians appointed to act on his behalf, including the sale of Newton Solney estate. A large auction took place in December 1799 with further subsequent sales. Abraham Hoskins took first pick of the estate, acquiring 2 large blocks of land adjoining each other in 1798 and 1800, which he landscaped a new park to provide a setting for his new house. Hoskins' original intention was to build his new house on Bladen Hill, to plans drawn by Geoffrey Wyatt, but for some reason this was not built, and a folly and banqueting house was built there instead, later enlarged to become the house now known as Bladen Castle. Having changed his plan, Hoskins bought an existing old farmhouse and buildings that he had been content to see included in the 1799 auction and reworked them as his new home. Fortunately, they had not been sold at the auction and were therefore available to Hoskins as part of his second acquisition in 1800. The farm buildings were resited at the present Newton Park Farm in the mid-19th century, but Hoskins' house still survives as the core of the present Newton Park Hotel. Bladen Castle, a folly with no other purpose than to improve the view from his house, went on to become Bladen House, a school that remains in the village today. Ruined by extravagance, the younger Hoskins were forced to sell the estate in 1839 to Lord Chesterfield, whose intention was always to lease the house. Between 1840 and 1873, Newton Park was let to the Worthington family, a well-known brewing family from Burton. William Worthington stayed there until his death in 1871, and the last member of the Worthington family to reside at Newton Park was Calvert Worthington in 1873. Between 1874 and 1879, the place was vacant, and in the 1879 electoral register, Robert Ratcliffe is listed as the freehold owner, although his place of abode was Steppen Hill until 1882, when his family must have moved in. Robert Ratcliffe had bought Newton Park and Bladen Castle from the Earl of Chesterfield. The Ratcliffe family came from a wealthy brewing pedigree, Bass, Radcliffe and Gretton Limited, and money was lavished on modernising and extending the house and revitalising the gardens. It became one of the first country houses to be lit by electricity. The staff wing of the house was also used to house evacuees during the war. When Peter Ratcliffe died in 1955, Newton Park was sold, with the building opening as a hotel 11 years later.
Wow.
I'm just gonna try
And John's just found out it is actually on ley lines.
Is it really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
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 The picture I've got's quite blurred when you blow it up, so I'm going to try and send it myself.
Let's
Wow.
see if we can, and then we'll show you.
That's right, good.
But it's actually on ley lines, which again makes it that little bit more, I don't know, not credible, but more interesting for me because of the ley lines that are going through. And a lot of people work with the energies on the ley lines. And we didn't get, I know that place, we could feel it, that place had a lot more to give.
Yeah, definitely.
But it would just,
I didn't have much feelings. Though the only feelings that I got was when me and John went to room 120, and there was a point where I got really emotional.
Yeah. Can you understand? Do you know where that came from?
No, I just felt really emotional for about, I don't know, only for about 4 minutes. But there was a point where I just got this wave of like, really bad, like feeling upset, really bad emotion.
Wow.
Yeah, sadness. But apart from that, I didn't get any other sort of feelings.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try and do.
John's just looking at see if we can
quite
try and
blurred, but I will try and.
But you can see the ley lines that it's on. Bear with. I don't know if he's going to try and get it.
That's
on
right.
screen.
Good.
Share screen.
Share screen. Oh, hang on.
Window.
So can everybody see that now? Oh yeah.
Can you see my cursor?
Oh yeah.
Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Right. If you look where my cursor is, if you see there, it says Burton upon Trent, but it's quite blurred.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then there's that green ley line that runs right through it.
Yes, there is.
Right the way through it. Yeah.
But look at ley lines here crossing down here.
Wow.
And how they cross up here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Chesterfield. So what's that bit there where ley lines are crossing? There's like two there in that spot.
Worcester, Hereford. Or are you looking up further?
There where John's cursor is.
Oh, right.
It looks like a national park. Right. That now I'm trying to think what it'd be. Peak District, could be Peak.
Well, you've got Sheffield here, Chesterfield, Warrington.
I was looking further down. It literally does cross.
Rochdale, Stoke. What's above Stoke-on-Trent? Whatever's above Stoke-on-Trent, it's there.
But yeah, Burton upon Trent's there. Look, no, just below Derby.
Wow.
And there's a ley line that runs straight through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting is that?
Gosh. Absolutely. I mean, Tuckby Castle's not far from there either, is it?
No.
Is it? Am I right? Tuckby Castle?
Do you know I want to go there?
That's. Oh, I've been there loads of times. Is that Bolton or but that's Burton something, isn't it? Oh, flipping heck.
It's near Burton upon Trent. It's a bit I think it's just a bit lower, or it's not far away.
Yeah. No, it's not, is it? No.
That's interesting.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Paul?
my God.
Maria, Maria's been on and she's a friend of Paul's. Maria Wheatley says that the rich always choose to build their houses on ley lines. Do we know why? Evening, Sarah. Evening, everybody. Hey, Michelle, do you get married there? Wow. Do we know why, Paul? Does anybody why the rich would have chose the ley lines? Do we know?
I'm sure my mum would. My mum's really good at remembering things like that, so I'm sure that she can remember. And it's amazing how many army sites and military sites are built.
Really?
Yeah.
Particularly like ancient sites and things. I mean, Avebury and Wiltshire around there is got loads of army barracks just not far away from like burial mounds and long barrows and things like that. So
wow,
I think there's some energy. Mum said it's something to do with power. I mean, we were sort of doing a little video together, which still has got to be finished off with Maria and myself. And we turned up at one place and we kind of we're getting out the car and could hear gunfire. So we thought we'd go back in the car and find somewhere else. So we filmed just a little bit of it just to make it a bit more exciting, the video. But you could just opening the door up a little bit to film this gunfire. I know I'm sure my car wouldn't have stopped any bullet coming through.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Fascinating place for sure.
Yeah. To tap into the energy we've got.
Definitely.
From religious, pagan beliefs, maybe. Andrew's
sorry.
If he remembers correctly, there were a few breweries on or by the River Trent, including Koo and Burton Ales, and Wayne's might have had one. What else we got coming through? Patricia's put Neolithic sites around Stonehenge follow the planets in the solar system. They do. Not Wayne's, Watney's.
Have you done the history on the Hoskins, the Worthingtons, and the Ratcliffes, Nanny Lynn?
Yeah.
I started on the Ratcliffes. I haven't got round to the others yet, but as I was saying earlier, one branches off from another. You look up the main site, the main place, then the names, and then you branch out to those names, and then that correlates with some of the information you've already got, but it also opens up other information. So it's endless. It's like looking up your family tree. So again, I've done the Radcliffes, but not.
I'm just going to stop.
There's even.
I'm just going to stop a minute because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to not take a break, but I'm just going to let Paul jump in and just explain to everybody what Paul's got coming up, and then we'll jump back into the next part of what follows the Radcliffe. So there you go, Paul.
All right, thank you. I kind of feel like the commercial break now, actually.
Don't.
No, I'm joking.
Wow, what a lovely commercial break you are.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I just pull it up. So those of you who missed it before, I meant that in a kind of.
No, you meant it as you said.
So here, basically. Oh, hello.
I'm teasing.
Can you not see that? It's disappeared, isn't it? Very weird. Is it
back?
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very weird. So basically, I'm going to be not on the night when Exploring the Afterlife is running. So probably a Wednesday or a Thursday, depending on the guest speakers. But there is this classic coaching tool that pretty much all life coaches use. So that you have like this pie chart that you divide into 8 sections, and each of those 8 sections you can choose something that you want to work on your life, or maybe things that are going well. And basically the idea is you give each one a mark out of 10, 10 being everything's going absolutely perfectly, 0 being you need to work on it. And it gives you some idea, if it was a wheel, how smooth your journey would be or how bumpy it would be. If you were to like fill it up like as a pie chart, like 9 out of 10 in there. So these are the ones that people usually put in, which is usually business and career, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, and physical environment. So I'm filling them up with people that are experts in the field, because I'm I like to think I'm not too bad at NLP and hypnotherapy, but there might be somebody that knows an awful lot more about finances than myself. So I've already got somebody who's a financial advisor agreed to go on this at some stage, got to arrange dates. I've got somebody who's a fitness instructor and a nutritional therapist. He's agreed to come on and talk about all his information. And somebody else that I've already got lined up is the physical environment, and she does feng shui. So I'm going to then look at other people that said they also do as well, personal growth. That's another one. There's a fantastic ideology called the hero's journey, which somebody called Will Gethin is going to be talking about. And I've got people that I'm thinking about for these other sections. But the idea is, out of this section on the wheel of life, if you're not feeling if your health is in a 2 out of 10, then tune in for that particular program. It's going to be on. It's going to be on my YouTube and my Facebook simultaneously broadcast. So it'll be on my personal one. So if you're interested, do send me a friend request. And it's just basically to try and move people forward from a stuck state to a desired state they want to be in. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working upon. And just let me know if you like the idea, this wheel of life. Explain
sounds
more.
fantastic to me. That sounds really, really good.
Yeah. Well, we'll all be
Move
there.
forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Got a couple
Paul.
of thumbs up, which is good. Somebody needs a whole pie, I see.
Yes, Yolanda.
It's on the end panel of it all.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to.
Oh, yeah.
To play.
You'd have to share with me, John.
I'd share with you, Nanny Lynn.
Oh, lovely. But I still have the bigger piece.
I'm not going to argue.
I'll just have the whole
Very
hog.
slice.
Right, so who's the
Thank
next
you. Thank you,
bit of
Lindsay.
family? You're welcome, Paul. Who's the next bit of family history that we've got to share then?
I think I've said all mine, to be honest.
Do you want me to go through mine?
It needs... Yeah, please, darling. I need,
No problem.
like I said, I just picked out lots of different bits and pieces that was relevant
There's loads
to the
there's
live.
loads of bits and pieces, isn't there? Everywhere, but there's not the full story.
Everybody in chat.
I didn't want to deviate from... Yeah.
Right.
Everybody in chat who was watching, when Claire or Annie Lynn's reading their bits out, if you can remember something that happened that links into what they're saying, pop it into chat, because then we can acknowledge that when or where, or if there's any questions around it, we can jump in and get to it there and then, instead of waiting till afterwards. So yeah, make sure you do that, guys.
Sorry, Claire, can I just ask, where did Edward and Michael come from, that you kept talking about Edward and Michael?
We don't know we're not sure where Edward
was
and
it on the box?
Michael came in the oak room. It were oak room.
On
Michael
the
one
Alice
at
box.
first names.
Spirit box, I mean.
Were it on Alice box?
I think it went Alice
Edward
box,
kept coming out a lot.
Alice box.
Yeah, I didn't quite get why they came out. Obviously, the Alice box. Okay, sorry, just a bit curious.
Right, I apologise for my reading again before I start. So, the Hoskins, Worthingtons and Ratcliffes.
Just monitor questions, love.
Yeah.
So the building was occupied by the Hoskins, the Worthingtons and the Ratcliffes before being transformed into a hotel. The Hoskins. So Abraham Hoskins, who built the house, was born in 1729 and died in 1805. He married Sarah Haworth and they had 7 children. Jane, Abraham II, Sarah, Francis, Mary, Elizabeth and Myrtilla. Abraham II went on to have 2 children of his own, William and Francis. Sarah went on to marry Michael Thomas Bass, and they had 7 children together. Michael Thomas, Abraham, Mary, William, Francis, Roger, and Sarah. So that's all I've managed to find out about the Hoskins. So there is a Michael Thomas Bass, and then he had a Michael Thomas. The Worthingtons. The Worthington Brewery, established in 1761 on High Street, Burton-upon-Trent, by William Worthington. William Worthington was the fourth child to be born to William and Elizabeth Worthington, who were yeoman farmers. William Worthington was born in the village of Orton-on-the-Hill and moved to Burton-on-Trent in 1744. He got a job as a cooper at Joseph Smith's brewery and went on to become a master cooper. On the 31st of August 1761, William, now 38, married widow Anne Tarrant, and the same year he also purchased John Smith's brewery. On the 3rd of September 1764, William and Anne had their first child, Mary. On the 10th of September 1764, they had their second child, William. And on the 16th of November 1766, they had their third child, Thomas. In 1755, William's only daughter, Mary, died aged 13. In 1791, William's eldest son, William, acquired the brewery, and in 1800, his father passed away aged 77. The brewery was then passed on to his son, William, born 1799 until 1871, and then to his son William Henry Worthington, born 1826 and died 1894. This is the William who would have acquired the property from the Hoskins. The Ratcliffes. Samuel Ratcliffe was born in Burton-on-Trent in 1781 and was the only son of John Ratcliffe of the brewing partnership Bass and Ratcliffe. He began work for the firm in 1800, probably as a clerk. In later years, together with Michael Thomas Bass and John Gretton, the business Bass, Ratcliffe and Gretton was formed. On March 18, 1816, Samuel married Sarah Holden and they went on to have 9 children. James, Martha, Samuel, Edwin, Sarah, Emma, Richard, William and Robert. It would be Samuel's son Richard who would acquire the property from the Worthingtons. Richard had 10 children. Richard Henry, Charlotte, but it's not spelled as Charlotte, so I'm guessing it's Charlotte.
Didn't Charlotte come out? Didn't we have Charlotte come out?
I can't remember.
I thought we had Charlotte come out in Oak Room.
I can't remember. I have to look back. Evelyn, Eleanor, Ronald, Sylvia, Constance, Lillian, Phyllis, Mary, Daisy Winifred and Charles J. Ratcliffe Ale was brewed on the 16th of December 1869 at the now demolished Bass Old Brewery on High Street and was produced to mark the birth of Richard Henry Ratcliffe, the son of company director Richard Ratcliffe. It was designed to be consumed on Henry's 21st birthday, but young Master Ratcliffe never made it that far, so the beer was never opened. It is recognised as the oldest still drinkable beer in the world. The Ratcliffe family were generous benefactors to the village. They contributed substantially to the church restoration and built the village club. Percy Ratcliffe built Sunnyside cottages in 1950 for the elderly as a memorial to the Second World War. Also, Samuel Ratcliffe's son Robert married Emily and they went on to have a son, Robert Frederick Ratcliffe, born 1867, who died 1943 in Burton-on-Trent. Colonel Robert Frederick Ratcliffe was an English brewer, territorial army officer and politician who represented Burton from 1900 to 1918.
Wow.
So the army connection is there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
Everything I managed to get. But like Nanny Lynn says, you're getting bits from here, bits from there. It's there's nothing that's just all together.
But we had.
I've got a little bit of.
Oh, go on, Nanny Lynn. Go on.
I said I've got a little bit of the other places, if you want, that is connected to all of that. I don't know whether you want to.
Yeah, well, I was going to say when we was in the Great Hall, man of God come through or something.
I've actually written some words down that
Man
came
of
out
God,
on the
yeah.
Alex box.
Yeah, the man of God come through, and there's actually, Claire was telling us, there's a church that was linked to the house. Do you know? Is it that? Have you got a bit of that history?
Right. So
yeah, that church was. Sorry, Claire.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say. I said to Lindsay that I thought they'd built the church, but they didn't.
No, the church was was it St Mary, the Virgin Mary, or something like that?
Yeah.
Hang on, I know I've got it down here somewhere. Yeah, church was 12th century. Yeah, the manor doom. Oh yeah, the first church was built in the 12th century. There would have also been a manor house, probably somewhere near the present Newton Park. What was it called? I did start to look up, because that's where Constance is buried, in that church.
See, we're gonna have to go there.
Yeah, Constance is buried in that church. As I said, it's an infant, but it's up to you. But I've got Bladen Castle, Cedar House, the Old Vicarage, row of cottages, the Brickmaker's Arms, numbers 3, 5 and 7 Main Street, the Police House, Grange Farm, the Grange, the Populars, Trent Farm, the Village Institute, the Unicorn Inn, the Old Forge, which would have forged a lot of things there, wouldn't it? The Post Office, Fairfield, Trent Lane, the ancient treadway leads down to the ford. There are some Victorian cottages behind, which is modernised old wheelwright's house. Didn't I hear you say on live that there was something about a wheel?
Yeah, didn't something come up about wheels? It did, yeah. Because we were like, what's wheel? Yeah, we said, like, what's wheel relevant to?
We did.
Yeah, so because one house called the Vine, maybe 17th century, and is certainly one of the oldest in the village. And next there are some modern houses on the roads that ends at the Trent. Across the river, there is a World War II pillar box put there to prevent a possible crossing of the river by German tanks. And during the early days of the war, the Home Guard attempted to cross the ford, but found it extremely difficult because of the constantly shifting bed of the river. But it is just possible for tanks to do it, hence the pillar box.
Wow.
Another little bit of, Yeah, so
fascinating.
The church is a Grade B listed building, mostly 14th and 15th century, but a 12th century Norman doorway. Originally, this was a chapel of ease, owned and served by the canons of Repton Priory for the parishioners of Newton's only. By 1650, it had become a parochial chapel, served by a curate, Thomas Gayfer. The famous mason who died in 1827 is buried in the churchyard. So he's buried there. Constance is buried there.
That's right.
Yeah. So
well, we are looking at going back during the day and possibly doing a little bit of an investigation while we're down there. I know Repton, which is the next town over. Yo-Yo went there a couple of weeks back. She's actually shared all the pictures of the church, and inside the church there's a crypt underneath the church, which is fascinating. I mean, I'll see. I don't know where we posted photos, whether we're on members or main, but I'll get Yo-Yo to post them on main with history, and it's phenomenal. I think we need to go back. I mean, I don't think we'll be allowed to do anything inside churches, but obviously you can have the ground outside.
Yeah.
So and I want to do. Is it Tupton? Do you want to go to is it Tupton Castle?
Tutbury
Castle. Yeah.
Tutbury Castle. Yeah. I've been there loads of times. I know Leslie, the curator there, very well. Leslie Smith.
Nanny Lynn, get her asked if we can go in and investigate.
Well, it won't, we can, but it won't be free.
Don't matter if it's not free.
No,
We don't want it free.
I'm
No,
sure.
it's not about being free, Nanny Lynn,
Okay.
but if we can, because what we can do is we just make it small, that one. We just see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Every time I've been there, we've stayed the night and literally slept on the floor.
Yeah,
But obviously you can't do that.
Well, it'd be good if we could, though. If we could stay over, if you can find out a price for overnight for us, and
I could do that. Yeah.
that'd be really good.
I haven't spoken to her
brilliant.
for a while, but yeah.
That's
it's a
okay.
fabulous place. It really is. But it's a lot of it are ruins, and they did use the one area as well for a torture chamber, and they had a bloke there that told us all about the instruments of torture. Oh my God, it was terrible. It really was. But there's a lot. It's a lot of ruins. It's not a solid castle. Parts of the Great Hall in that it are, but the outer ones, they're all sort of just ruins still. But they've still got the atmosphere and everything there. You know, I mean, we were outside in one of the outer buildings once, and it was chucking it down. And of course, there was no shelter, so they had those bin type things that you could put logs in. So we had one of those go really well. We were all standing over that and getting warm, and we heard above us footsteps. You know, loud like boot steps walking above us.
Wow.
There was nothing above us, only fresh air. There was no level or any kind of building above us. But we all heard it. We just sort of looked around. You know, there was just an outer shell, no upstairs, nothing. And yet we heard those footsteps, or like I said, boots, if you like.
Is Leslie Smith the historian who dresses up in costume?
Yes.
She's a curator, yes. Historian, yes. You've been up, Paul.
I have been.
Did you go with me, Paul?
Yeah, I went twice with you. One time my mum came along, another time it was just myself that came along. I wasn't there when you heard the noise. I think you might have been in a different group and said about it after. I remember you telling me about the story. But what I remember about being that outside bit, it wasn't chucking down with rain, but there was all the smoke around, and it was really cold. But when you got close to the fire, your eyes would sting, so you had to get away from it. My mum came along. She said she heard the sound of horses' hooves clipping and
wow.
Well, they're supposed to be
I didn't hear it.
They're supposed to be heard.
I didn't.
Maybe if we get a good price, you and your mum can join us.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I'll tell you where else I wouldn't mind investigating. I mean, I know it is going to be a bit more pricey as well, but the one in Forest of Dean.
The jail.
I can't remember. It used to be a jail. It's YMCA at the minute.
Little Dean Jail.
No,
it's Castle
Little Dean House.
No, it begins with B. St. Bavarial's Castle.
St. That's well worth it. That's well worth it.
I had my sheets off my bed pulled off me there.
I would. I mean, to be honest, I think if you asked them, I mean, it is a YMCA. I suppose if we got in touch and just asked them if we could stay at night and do some investigating, you just have to make sure that it's not on a busy night when there's other people in bedrooms. But if we can get a price for that one,
booked up. Yeah, they do get booked up.
Yeah, but if we can get a price for that one, that might be one to look forward to, even if it's next year. It gives a chance to save for deposit and everything to go down on it. But I think that'd be a good one to do.
I mean, we could do Woodchester Mansion because I got that. I told you how expensive it was, but if we had 20 people going, like I have this time, we're only paying £39 each. Because I'm not making any profit whatsoever.
No.
I'm paying the 39.
What?
That Semperville's
Yeah.
Castle, it's
Yeah.
closed at minute.
Oh, is it closed at minute?
The castle is a working youth hostel. It's not currently able to operate at its normal capacity because of restrictions imposed by Corona. In addition, we are carrying out essential repairs to the castle walls, which means it's not possible to visit the inner courtyard and is currently only possible to view the castle from the moat area. We look forward to welcoming you back in 2020.
That's all right.
2022.
Mm.
What are you doing?
You probably
I
wouldn't
can't
get in
hear
till
you.
then anyway.
You shouldn't hear me.
Ah. I can't hear him.
Microphone's there.
Oh, is that why? I'm like, I can't hear you.
Hey, Joseph.
Yeah. Hey, Jose.
Oh, here he is again. Look. There he is again. Pino, look in there, look.
Pino was saying hello.
Ow! Oh, no, he won't.
The only thing
Get
with
them.
Woodchester Mansion, Nanny Lynn, for us is, I know you said 30 people. For us, we'd only limit it to about 10. So
No,
we
20.
Yeah, 20. But for us, when we go, we only want to limit it to maybe 10. So it'd be probably us two.
Oh, it'd be more than
Claire and Simon probably go on a weekend. You, Paul, Moira, if she wants to come. Tracy and
it'd just be more than £39 though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know that, but it's just for contamination for us. I think the more goes, the more chance of contamination we're going to get. I mean, I'd love to do Gloucester Prison again. That'd be a nice one to do. But again, just we about 10 people.
If you had 10 people, it would be £78 each.
And what's time on that,
Woodchester? You can access it from 7 o'clock till 4 in the morning.
Well, that's good.
That's not bad.
And you got it to
that's right good.
You got it to yourself.
Where's this?
You got it to yourself, and you'd have to take your own teas and coffees and stuff as well. They've got a kitchen there, but she's very particular on making sure it's okay while you leave, because being such an old place, she said if they get any mice or anything in there, they'll live for days on just a drop of water that you've spilt or something.
Mansion.
So she's. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of the Ram. Bloody hell!
Are you doing ramming?
Yeah, No, I'm not doing that again. No. Woodchester's fine. Yeah, but it would because it's £780 a night for 10 people. It would be £78. I don't know why I suddenly jumped into the ramming. Never mind.
But 78 is not a bad price.
I don't know. I think I'd do an event there.
You'd like to do an event there?
Yeah, so I probably would do it to 20.
Would you? I would say Mardy.
Well, why? But you just do it in 2 groups of 10.
Yeah, I mean, big enough.
Is it big enough though? That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, what we might do then is we might look at doing an event at Woodchester then, and split everybody off into different groups or something, and then let everybody just have a go round on their own as night goes on.
I have,
but
You wouldn't be doing live from Woodchester. There's no signal.
Oh, you can't go live. Oh
no.
Can't we take?
No, you'd have to pre-record.
No, there's no signal.
There's nothing. It's down in the valley. You can't get anything. The only thing they have got is a landline, and they've got a landline, but they'll only let you use it in an emergency.
Right. Patricia says, does having more people at an invest help the energy?
It does, but it also helps the contamination.
I've found the more stuff has always been the smaller groups. I've always found better things. Occasionally there's more energy and stuff like that. But I think that you get some people who expect something to jump out and say boo within 30 seconds, and then they start messing about and making their own stuff up. So when it's not everybody from the general public does it. All you need is, like, if you had like 30 general public, just 3 people of that general public to start kind of doing stuff. So it's nice to go when you fully know you can trust people. But I've always found the smaller group, the more stuff.
Definitely.
I seem to have got.
Tony agrees.
Apart from the 28 people I had at Woodchester once.
Yeah.
And we had that growl, didn't we? And all the team ran in, scared to death.
Well,
Diana scared to death.
For me, sorry, Paul.
I was just saying that was me running
Yeah.
in scared to death. I was outside with somebody else, and it set everybody off. And
Hi,
it was
Jose.
it's quite funny. It's on my
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go and have a look now. But yeah, I think for me, I think when people do events, I mean, me and John's been on a couple of events, and like Paul says, sometimes when they're going on these events, they don't understand what it entails. And like you said, they're waiting for that jump scare. They're waiting for a noise over in corner. Whereas I think if you go with people that have got that interest and not being forced to go because they're best friends into paranormal and they're being dragged along, I think then you've got a good work set. But I think also the more people you have, if anybody coughs, sneezes, farts, burps, stamps the feet, rubs the jacket, or getting a packet of crisp out to crumple crisp, shoving a sweet in the mouth, everything's got to be logged. And everybody's got to like, sorry, just put a sweet in my mouth. Do you know? Because if it's not, it's very easily.
Well, I used to do that, but nobody do today. That's very old school. I always used to get people to write it down if they went off into groups. But a lot of people don't bother now. They can't be bothered, and it's a shame because by not doing it, we're missing stuff. You are literally missing stuff. I mean, I found that from looking back at some of the lives, some of yours, some of other people's, and if you know what you're looking for and you know what you're trying to hear, you will pick it up. But a lot of people will just dismiss it. The same in our everyday life. We dismiss a lot of things from our peripheral vision and stuff, and your gut feelings, and if you shiver and stuff, we just dismiss it. And we shouldn't, because it does mean something. It really does. And
it does.
It's a shame because, all this technology has took over and they're relying on the technology rather than natural abilities, which is much, much more reliable.
I think because Lynn, I was going to say, I think you were saying, Lindsay, is that sometimes though, if somebody's eating that packet of crisps, it acts across the room. You don't know what's potentially paranormal and what people are moving around and creating.
Exactly,
so it's just kind of like, I think you have the people that think every noise is ain't paranormal, and then the other group of people that think, well, people are milling about and dismiss everything.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, like Yolanda's just put, she took herself off. She'll be back on in a minute. Yolanda's put all those people ruining the EVPs by breathing. That's last night. We were doing an EVP. And Ange took a breath in before she did EVP. So we were like, don't breathe.
I mean, breathing, it's just constant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
When you do EVP, we say, type slowly. I just said, where's she gone?
It likes booting me out.
Definitely, Karen. We'll let you know for definite if we do prison again.
If we do prison, though, we don't have to take 300 people with us.
No,
no.
Too many. But I think it's
£1,300 plus VAT. We're going to have to take about 300 people with us.
Well, we might get enough.
They're going to be closing the prison down.
Oh, they keep saying that, but they keep making money. Yeah. I mean, the money to do an investigation now has doubled to what it was.
Yeah.
They've got so greedy, it's doubled now. And there's no way that they're going to start redeveloping stuff on there while they're getting that kind of money in. They keep saying, it's going to be closed.
They get greedy.
They keep saying that to get you in. Yeah. They keep saying it's going to shut, so people will say, we better get in there then.
COVID did a lot of damage.
I mean, I know that night we did Gloucester Prison, it were on an offer, weren't it? They got an offer on a deal, whatever, for that. But it's now 3 times what we paid.
Wow.
Yeah, because when I spoke to Simon, I said, bloody hell, I said, it's gone up, hasn't it? He said, well, I've just done that deal for you. I said, well, can't you do it again?
Yeah.
I think the thing is, though, it's not all down to COVID. I think because the paranormal field is getting so much bigger. It's just expanding.
Well, it's money
people
making.
know that they can make money out of it.
Yeah, they do. But
when I started doing paranormal, when I started doing paranormal stuff, nobody asked for any money.
No.
What we did, we gave them a report of what we found, and they were happy enough with that. And if we bought a meal, they were happy enough with that. But now, because it's a money spinner, everybody wants to charge you.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is a lot of the
cost.
hotels we visit, they're happy if you just book a room. Do you know, if you book a room and you spend a bit of money there, then they're happy enough.
Yeah.
Other places, like you say, it is just a money making thing.
It is now.
I got a quote for a hotel, and she gave me a price for the rooms, and then she wanted £150 to hire the hire one room, £100 to hire another room.
Yeah.
I'll throw you this one in for free. Let's forget it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, when you
Yeah.
can
Well,
get
I used to do the New Inn, and all they wanted from us was a meal.
Yeah.
Now they want £200 just for the room that we used for a base room.
Yeah.
I mean, if we decided we were going to do an event somewhere, then I can understand them wanting a cut of it or something at least. But if we were just going into a paranormal investigation, they were advertising it as a haunted location. You'd think in a way that the evidence we got and the advertisement they get from it will, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
You think so, but
I was going to say, I can understand that they might want you to pay for the member of staff that has to stay up all night.
Yeah, definitely.
But, when you go around, there's no heating on.
No lights.
You have to quite often take your own flask of coffee or stuff, so it's not like they're making you coffee or anything like that. So, I mean, some of the early ones we used to do, it was like this. So come along, they'd be really interested to see if we picked anything up. Yeah. And then several times throughout the night, they would have cafetières of coffee being bought out for us and biscuits and things. It was wonderful.
Or we had the urn, didn't we? We had the big urn to make our own.
Yeah. I might buy my own urn. Yeah. But then we'd have to have a generator because a lot of places where you don't have electric in anyway.
Well, they do have an urn at Woodchester that you can plug in and they fill up. You've got to get the water from outside just before you come in. And they used to let you have a big, lovely log fire. But now they're charging you for putting the wood on the fire, which they've got wood everywhere. They've got trees and forest wood everywhere. But their excuse is that it belongs to National Trust. So it's not their wood, which rubbish.
It's just silly, isn't it?
We don't have our own wood to put on.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not... I don't know whether because they do weddings there as well. You can't tell me they're going to charge people wedding guests so they could put wood on there. Although they probably would. They probably would incorporate in the price, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Myself and Lindsay, we looked at going to one place. It was in Lincoln. I think it was Lincoln Castle. And they wanted to charge us the same price for 5 people to go and investigate as what it'd be for 200 people to go to a wedding. And it was something like £3,000.
Bloody hell.
Honestly. It was shocking. Yolanda's put what might be interesting to do is a good experiment. Go to a known haunted location and a location with nothing, but don't tell us where you are and see what would come out and see if it would be interesting. We'd have to find places where we've not been. Yeah, we'd have to find somewhere where we'd not been before because otherwise you'd know it by sight. Scotty's put it's the same with devices now. They're sold at 8 times their cost. Gillian, you'll have to watch Back My Sweet.
I can think
and I agree with Tony.
I can think of a few people's pages we could look on to find out where there's nothing.
I totally agree with that. With what Yolanda's said, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these places, I think, are just hyped up that are supposed to have got all this.
Shut the door a minute.
All this paranormal activity, and they charge,
I wish you knew how to shut the door.
I think that's when it does turn, though, doesn't it, into finance when.
But the thing is, if what's to say that you went somewhere that hasn't got any hauntings, that you wouldn't get more than the other place?
Yeah. Well, you don't, do you?
The thing is, there's a place near us, and a certain investigator, he who shall not be named, went there saying he went somewhere where there was no hauntings.
Yeah.
And he got nothing all night.
Yeah.
I went to that same place just to see, and I got activity.
Yeah, you
so
did. Yeah.
You can't. I wouldn't say it was haunted as such, but I got like interaction on.
Got relevant things coming through as well.
On devices, I got relevant answers coming through. I got the cat balls going off. I got the REM pod going off. So I don't think you could.
It's
say
how you do it.
Not going to have
It's
any.
how you do it.
No.
Energy. You couldn't.
And it's like you said,
It's how you do
going
it.
back.
Your intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny gets a lot of stuff because
it's
he's
how
got
you
the right way of
communicate.
doing it. You get a lot of stuff because it's the way the right way that you do it.
I think also we get.
If
a
you're
lot
going
of
to go in
stuff
there
because we
cussing and
go back.
swearing, yeah.
But I think it's because we go back.
Scotty's in
We don't. I know.
Yeah.
We don't just do it once and then not go back to it. We might go back to it 3 nights in a row or 3 weeks in a row, and get a feel for it, because every night's going to be different. Not one night's the same. But I think for me, I think because the paranormal feels hyped up enough with the television programs and other things that go off, whether it's on internet or any sort of type of social media, people want to believe more in the demons and the negative energies than they do
how many demons
in
there's
just
in
a
South
normal
Yorkshire, would you?
communication.
Not me.
It's more the entertainment value. But Tony, Tony said earlier, Tony said, up in sky, there's things up in sky that we can look into. Agreed with respect, Jep, you shall be not be named. But yeah,
not named, but we know.
No, the negs I tell to move on, and me guides usher them out. Exactly, Tony. They have to, because
we don't give him time.
That's to me. That's just like I said. It's just
we don't give him time. We don't give him attention. We don't give him any
entertainment factor, because we've been out to many a location, and you know what? There will be some negative energies there, whether it's been from the living during the daytime, whether it's from energy that's left at night. We've never had a negative experience. I've always come away, if I've felt it in my gut, I've come away from it. Or we've just ignored it full stop. So you don't have to engage if you don't want to. Do you know?
That's it.
Claire, you've moved. You've moved over.
I know, it's nice and
You're
warm.
on this side.
It's nice and warm here. You've kept it nice and warm, Nanny Lynn.
I tried to refresh it because I could see the same comments and I thought it had stuck. So I refreshed it, put it back on, and you moved over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Paul's the same.
Dear.
Paul's the same, and John and Lindsay the same, but me and you have switched.
Switching.
Yeah, but I'll definitely look up Tutbury Castle.
Yeah, Tutbury Castle. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, there's a couple of places up here. I've got to get price on it. I think there's a museum that we can get into, so I'm going to look at price at museum. But I will let you know where it is, and if you want to come up, and you as well, Paul, if you want to come up and investigate when we do them, because they will be good. Yeah, they will be good locations.
Have you got any more psychic nights planned, Nanny Lynn, coming up?
What psychic suppers you mean, or
your psychic
investigations?
Suppers. No, your psychic suppers.
Oh God,
you got any of them coming?
Are you busy with them?
Yes. Let me think. Right, tomorrow night is bingo. Thursday night is Bolton on the Water. That's a psychic supper, and that's a haunted place as well. That we're going to book a room one night there. And I've already been in the room that they said is haunted, and picked up names, and even in my head, visions, and names, and 2 children. 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. So I want to go back there and do that. And it's a friend of mine who owns the pub, so we could do a small investigation there. Yeah. And all she'll want us to do is have a meal. So we could do that if you wanted to.
Yeah, it sounds like
yeah.
Then I got Woodchester. When's Woodchester? Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday, I think, Woodchester. But that's only because that's the ones I asked you for. You wanted to go, didn't you? And then things happened and you couldn't come or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we could
That
do
worked
that
really well.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lady that has just left the pilot. She worked there. She left there and she's running another pub in Strode. She says it's haunted and we could do that one as well. I'm doing one with Kelly, my friend Kelly, next week or the week after. That's a pub. They've asked us to go in because they've had lots of different activities there, so they want us to go in. But there's always something coming up. I mean, so much for retirement, eh, Paul?
I'm going to say, I don't know how you know
Absolutely.
when you're coming or going.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. But I mean, the Halloween night down Bristol was absolutely amazing. I scared the crap out of 50 people, so that was good. And we had a nice carvery meal, and that was good. Yeah, it was
That's
good.
brilliant.
The only thing that wasn't good, in a way, was there was all those people there, and most of them were drunk. Halloween, dressing up, so when you're trying to do readings at the table, it's not really going through, and it's a shame because they spent the money for doing it, but that's their prerogative, isn't it? So so I got a few more of those coming up,
Don't blame
and
me,
I've got
Soldier,
small.
it's Lindsay. Go on.
You're on the wrong chat, John.
No, it's me. I'm commenting, but when I comment, it goes up on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. I got you.
So go on.
Yeah, I didn't need to go on YouTube, did I? Yeah. So I'll tell you where there's one place I would love to go back to. Absolutely brilliant place. I don't know how much it is now though. Oh, flipping out! I forgot where it is now. It's where Adelina Patti, the famous opera singer, had her house. It's in Wales, and it's like a castle come. You know where I mean, don't you, Paul?
Craigennos. You mean Craigennos?
That's it. That's the
You
word.
have to
Thank you, Paul.
Do you hire that?
Yeah. Craigennos
You
in
get
Wales,
prices.
and you could go upstairs in the derelict part, which used to be a TB hospital, and they've still got the old beds up there and the old wards and everything.
Oh,
And then you go
wow.
downstairs. You go downstairs, and it's like going through Narnia. You go downstairs, and everything's not modern. You have your meal and everything, and you got your dormitory, your beds, and everything. And you go up into this derelict part, and it's like going into a Narnia, into a horror place.
Wow. Nanny Lynn,
wow.
get price.
Oh yeah, get price.
Get
It's
price for
creepy.
that one. Get price for that.
And the grounds, Lindsay, that it's on, it's right up in the Bracken Beacons. The ground that it's on is absolutely brilliant. It's down right by a stream, and you can take Big Red down, and absolutely brilliant. Love it. And the other place I would like to go again is Ruthin Jail. That's another place in Wales.
Get the
And it
prices.
was a massive prison. Yeah. Okay.
Get the
Okay.
get the prices, and then we can do some talking. Have you got anything coming up, Paul, that you've got planned coming in?
Well, at the moment, I want to do another couple of workshops, which I'll probably speak to you about.
Oh, brilliant.
At the moment, I've just been incredibly busy with clients.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
Getting this wheel of life thing sorted. Also, a couple of places that I'm going to try and do, if possible. Like somebody wanted me to do some regressions down in Cornwall, which I've got to sort out. Also, as well, to redo Richard Felix at some point, because I hypnotized Richard Felix.
I watched that. I thought that was I thought that was good.
Can you hypnotize him to do us a good deal to get into the job?
You read my thoughts.
See what I can possibly put in.
Yeah. I've been to Derby Jail.
I could, but it is expensive to do dark for how big it is. It is expensive, and if you do take more than about 4 people, you've done it.
It's only a small place.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've done it.
You're
supposed to be writing me a story. for my book. He's promised to write me a story of how he coped through COVID. And he said, "Oh, you know what I'm like? Keep messaging me."
Anne's put Richard Felix was stubborn in his regression poll.
Yeah, it took me a while. It was quite funny because about halfway through, I then sort of deepened him a bit more, and he started saying stuff, and then people were going, "Yep, he's got him."
Yeah.
I think with Richard, I'm going to do a longer introduction and talk to him because he was very relaxed, and I could tell as best as you can through these systems here by using streaming services, but I found that it was very difficult for him to get his mind out the way. Like he would suddenly start thinking, "Oh no, this is," and then he was bringing himself out. He wasn't just with the flow. So
he's very active mind though.
Yeah, so I make sure I have a good chat with him, do a really long induction, and basically do a real super long one, put him into hypnosis, out of hypnosis, back into hypnosis again. So you can really kind of do these things called fractionation. I do it a little bit at the beginning, but really kind of go to town with it.
Yeah.
So he's in a very, but I didn't want to just do like 30 minutes of an induction whilst there were people watching. So it's going to be pre-recorded because some people like seeing the inductions, but I think if you do it more than 5 minutes, people start losing a bit of interest, and as it is, people are dropping off to sleep as it is whilst I'm doing my you can
it's
see the
comments on
the side saying, I'm falling asleep here, and Zed's appearing.
I do like Richard Felix.
I'll tell you what I'd like
he's
to
nice.
do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do in Derby again. That's the Bell, because I went with Lynn and a few others, and we were due to sort of finish, I think, about 5-6 o'clock in the morning. And we just did a little room upstairs, but we left by about midnight, and they still had like the nightclub thing going to 1 o'clock. So we didn't actually do the investigation downstairs. So I'd have liked to do it properly, because we did a Saturday night as well. So it'd be nice to maybe. Yeah.
I really like Richard. I mean, myself and Lindsay, we went and did a night in Derby jail. Richard actually came and joined us. There were a mix-up anyway, so Richard had to go off and do a talk somewhere. Then he came back and met us, did a little talk, and then he took us to the other part of the prison that he owned, the other bit of the prison. And me and Richard both went up this tower, and it was really good. It was lovely investigating with Richard.
But there was something happening in that tower.
Yolanda also, when I'm heading up this way, I was hoping to do Ian by now. The project with Maria Weekly and Ian.
Yeah.
That youth hostel didn't actually open. I think they only opened up certain ones that were like the larger youth hostels where people could book it just like individual rooms.
Yeah, they're still being funny, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still. I can understand because there's lots of it's people in an area breathing the same air, or sort of about 8 people in one dorm, etc. So, we'll be doing that. I will try and I'll speak to Lorian tomorrow about the Derby thing and see what I can sort out. So that'll be quite. So I stayed in a wonderful travel. It was Bath Marina, which was really like about £31 a night. So it was really not very much at all, and it was just a stone's throw away from Derby. So it'd be nice to go and spend some time around that area. Yeah. Whoever else wants to stay there, it'd be a good little time, around Derby.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That'd be good, that. Congratulations, Anne. Your baby granddaughter.
Oh, yeah. Well, congratulations.
I will go have a look on after.
Oh, how lovely.
I do.
So, Stuart's put, hang on. Let me get Stuart's comment up. Bull in Thorn used to be a good location, but don't know if it still allows investigations. Last one we did was about 5 years ago. Had 3 good photos there of manifestations happening. Oh wow, Stuart! If you're in with the landlord, if you want to drop him a message and see if we can get in there, it'd be perfect if you know him.
Not going to show it, but can't show it.
I'm not going to show it. Oh, she's beautiful. I've tried to see who she's like. think she's like Daddy. Yolanda's put, if you and Lynn need a room, I've got two, unless you want to share. No, not with Nanny Lynn snoring.
Oh no. Yeah,
The
not
only
my
problem
snoring.
is, Paul, is if you end up staying at Yolanda's, then I'm booking you in for a past life regression while you're there.
No, do it, please. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
there
give
you
him a
go.
ring, Stuart, and find out.
Another fortnight.
I know. Well, that's the thing. If we can let everybody know when Paul's going to be up here with Nanny Lane, or if Paul's coming up this way without Nanny Lane, we can try and arrange for somewhere. We can try and arrange somewhere for people to come and have the past life done.
We'll have to get
local. What?
We'll have to get a shop sorted.
You have to get a shop sorted. Yeah. We'll have to get a shop sorted.
You ain't going up there without me.
I wouldn't do that, Lynn.
I know.
It's my nephew's first birthday on Friday. Oh wow, Scotty, it has gone fast.
Wow.
And we're looking at units to let.
It only feels like yesterday that Scotty told us that he were an uncle.
We're looking at units to let. There's loads available now.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is that because of COVID though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, guys, I think we're going to call it. So, Paul, quick refresh on what you've got coming up.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate this. And if anybody's interested, I'll get up just to show you after. So I'll just speak to Joe Willie now. But in the life coaching, there's a classic wheel of life, which you have different sections on the wheel of life, which I'll show you in a moment, relating to things that in your life that are most important to you. Some of those can be that you want to work on. So for some people, they might have the confidence, but think they need to work on, say, their finances, which isn't really my expertise, finance. I've also got somebody who's really knowledgeable about health that's going to turn up, somebody who knows about the hero's journey. So it's this pie chart, marks out of 10, so 10 being everything's really brilliant, and 0 being I need improvement. So the idea of that is that you can follow along with this pie chart, so you can listen to the experts and hopefully move yourself from what you feel a stuck state to a desired state. So I'll just share with what the pie chart, because I'm sure people have seen this pie chart by now, but I'm just going to share the pie chart with people again. So I do appreciate this, and it's disappeared. Oops. Let me get it up. Sorry.
Is there only me that needs to improve all 10?
No, Claire.
Or how many ever there is.
I can share. Right. Okay.
Take care, Scotty, my lovely.
Yeah,
there we go. So here it is. So that's the pie chart. So, bye, Scotty. So business, career, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, physical environment. However, if people feel like they want to maybe take out the career, once I've done all 8, I'll add others, because you choose 8 subjects that you feel you want to work upon. So
don't add any more. Pieces of pie will get littler.
Yeah, that's true.
Night, Carol, my lovely. But yeah.
Bye, Carol.
Why's Claire took her out?
You took her out.
Oh,
took her
not
out.
again, Claire.
No, she didn't.
Oh, she's back on the other side.
I didn't take her out.
You took her out when he took pie chart out.
I didn't take pie chart out.
Oh, look, she's trying them.
Gillian, have an awesome birthday tomorrow, my lovely. I will sing happy birthday to you tomorrow night. But happy birthday, Gillian, for tomorrow. So yeah,
happy birthday, Gillian.
So thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, it was amazing live on Sunday night for Halloween. If you haven't got a chance, watch back and have a look. The histories we've shared. And it's been, what's that?
Ooh,
chocolate orange cake
on top.
Oh no, not orange.
Keep it. Gives me heartburn.
I've seen an advent calendar I want. It's a Reese's advent calendar.
Reese's, you know.
What? John.
So I want to say thank you to Paul and Nanny Lynn for joining us tonight, and for Paul telling us what he's got coming up and joining in. Nanny Lynn for the history.
You've got it in for Claire
I'm not going to thank Claire.
You've got to thank Claire for joining us.
Thank you, Claire.
I do want to say a big, massive.
Claire.
No, but I do want to say a massive thank you to Claire, because if it wasn't for Claire, Halloween this year would have been a total washout because of everything we've got going on. Poor Claire had to sort everything herself and ring everything round. So Claire, just amazing.
You're more than welcome. I've
love you
it.
loads.
Welcome,
so yes. So Paul, do you want to say good night?
Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching, and it was really, really fascinating. And it makes me want to. Well, I always like catching up on your lives anyway, but I certainly will do. And then I can play the two side by side, so I can know the history of what you're saying or what you're picking up on. So it'd be good to do.
It would be good to do. Annie Lynn.
Yep. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. And hopefully see you soon. Take care, everyone.
We will.
Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams.
Thank you, John and Lindsay.
Oh, am I allowed to say good night now?
I'm pointed to you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I enjoyed it. And,
Lindsay's just upsetting us, John. She's just got
know.
into us.
Shall I end it with Lindsay say good night?
Take care, everybody. And we shall see you in the morning. Or John may come on about 10:30ish and do chit chat in the morning. We'll see.
Well, some difficult words on history.
I'll be doing some more tomorrow.
Sorry, I've not been up for chit chat. I've been sleeping.
A lot of people's been sleeping. So take care, guys. We shall see you all shortly. Love you loads.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paul.